Hello, good morning. The mice activity is, of course, going on, and I was just wondering that there is not a lot of activity in the raised beds today. The activity has been a little more in this raised bed since I refilled with the soil because there's lots of earthworms, there's a lot of moisture, and as you see, I have laid that little mesh wire because the activity has been more in that particular area. Reason being, I've put compost there, so obviously compost comes with a lot of earthworms, and they've been digging there for the earthworms somehow in that particular area. But thankfully, I haven't seen any right here. But then while inspecting the garden, I did see that they've been taking the food uh, to the corners like that right there, and they've been eating, which I'm fine with. They've been feeding on the zinnia petals or the very immature seeds, which is completely fine. Today morning in this process, I realized that they have been very active in the other raised bed. Remember, like we were talking in the previous videos, where they feed on one raised bed at a time, so the other two, they're almost out of sorts for food, and now it is this raised bed. So as we see, there's a lot of activity, mice activity in this raised bed. Many of the rich gourds have been eaten, the ones that I kept for seed saving. This is now the most active bed, and I do want to intervene in this raised bed because that's the only crop that I'm getting to, very little bit of it. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and collect all the pots that have compost in them. Like in the composting videos, I talked about how I place these little pots and compost right next to the plant so the plant gets healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and collect all the compost in the garden, and I'm going to go ahead and fill it up in this raised bed. Now I see that everything is wilting. It's getting cold, so I'm not going to get any more okra. The eggplant, of course, will overwinter, but anyways, they're feeding heavily on this eggplant plant, and I don't mind. It's a big plant. I'm confident that it's going to overwinter. It's just that I want at least a couple of seeds from that particular variety. So I'll just intervene in this bed and go ahead and fill this raised bed with the all the soil. There we see how much has gone down. The soil shrunk a lot, so I'll be filling this raised bed today. And those are the pots I have for now. Plus, I do have a lot of soil from the previous composting season too. So I'm just going to go ahead and collect all the soil from all of these pots, which this is all the compost that's been cooking for about 7 to 8 months now, because this is all started in the summer. So I'm going to dig up all of this soil and then fill it up back in that particular raised bed. Another thing is that now that I've removed the pots from right next to these plants, I don't want these plants to their roots to be exposed, so maybe I'll go ahead and mulch the spots that I removed the pots from. I'll work on it. As I keep working, I'll keep updating you. As we are emptying the composting bins, look at the number of earthworms and the black soldier fly larvae. I know it is not as pleasant to watch the worms. Not everyone enjoys it, neither do I, but I just love to see that soil life, and it shows that it's been going the right way, and it's so nice. It makes me really happy. The healthy earthworms, the lot of earthworms, different types of earthworms, which is just amazing. So in the process of cleaning this raised bed, I also do have some amaranthus plants, and that are not completely gone to seed, but at the same time the seeds are not fully developed. But this is making this area very crowded and making this plant easy target for the mice. So what am I going to do? I cut it off at the base. Like I always say, strongly encourage not pulling out the plant, cutting it off at the base. I took this and I just start dusting these off like that. So if there are any seeds, I do this across all the raised beds where I am okay for the amaranthus to sprout. In fact, because I'm going to go ahead and fill up the soil in all of the raised beds, there will be at least a couple of seeds here and there. That's like self-sowing. So whatever pops up will pop up. If it doesn't, it's okay. But I'm trying to get out all the seeds from this, trying to make best use of the greens right here, the seeds right there, because I'm not planning on collecting any of that. And there goes my 25-gallon bin again, in which I'm filling up with all of the material that I'm collecting from the raised bed. As we as we keep cleaning up, this is how the area opens up, and I have a pot full of compost right there, which I'm going to go ahead and fill up in all of this raised bed. I also removed a few of the okra plants. The rest of them I'm just letting them be, because maybe I want to plant some peace around these plants and use these plants as the structure. That's another tip, where you have longer plants like sunflowers or okra that are strong and tall. You can grow the small pea plants, which are shorter vining varieties. Like usually the shelling peas are short, they don't vine more than 2 to 3 feet, so you can plant them against these okra plants. There we go, all done. So tiring but so satisfying. I just wish you can truly see how nice this looks. Just a second, from this way. Yes, the raised bed is kind of nicely done. It took a lot of soil, but thankfully all the compost that I had in this pot and the other two 25-gallon pots, everything was emptied into this raised bed. So now this is, we can see how beautiful the soil is, extremely rich. There's lots of millipedes, there's lots of earthworms. I know in the future I'll have a lot of snails and slugs or whatever, but that is all soil life. We just have to work along with that. I love how this bed is looking right now. It gives a little bit of more support to the producing plants, and I hope the dahlia and the tomato will overwinter. We'll see. I'll try and plant something really close to those plants to make sure that they'll be alive. And here are my cauliflowers plants that are almost drowned, but I don't mind. I still think they'll do good, they'll survive, and as they keep growing up, I'm going to add more soil at the base. That way, that's why this looks a little shallow right here. I mean, a little not in level with the rest of the soil. We cannot see it here, but that's what it is. And I'm not going to water these, because if I'm watering, like we said in the other video, the soil, the stems are going to get really will be sitting in the water, and they'll start to decompose. So I'm not going to water this. It's just the roots that we need to support, and it's well supported. So this is how it is looking. Hope you enjoyed the video, and this is such a satisfying day for me. I haven't planned to do everything. I did not envision it this way, but it turned out much better than the way I envisioned it. Thank you so much, and happy gardening.